9 minutes after the goal, Portugal subbed off a fuming Ronaldo who kicked at the turf out of frustration while Georgia's Cr7 continued to run rings around the Seleção defense. A study in contrast, if there was ever one. Will I ask Cristiano for his jersey after the game? Maybe. Probably. Oh yes, why not? He is my idol. I will tell him that, but that does not mean we can't win. This was what Georgia's Cr7 Cr7 had written in the Players' Tribune last week. 10 days later, Georgia outplayed Portugal and notched up a historic 2-0 win. The two number 7s have a connection. Recently, an old picture of the two started making rounds on the internet. It from 2013 when Cristiano Ronaldo, a certified Real Madrid superstar then, had visited the Dinamo Tbilisi Academy in Georgia. In that picture, Cr7, a 12-year-old boy then, was poking his head from over the crowd standing around Ronaldo. On Thursday night, the boy, now a 23-year-old man, made sure that the picture was back in circulation as he helped Georgia qualify for the next round of the Euro. The Veltins Arena witnessed history on the night when Cr7 not only outshone his much more decorated Portuguese counterpart, he ensured that his country, the lowest-ranked team in this tournament, can dream just a bit bigger. 93 seconds. That was all it took for Cr7 to stun Portugal. The Seleção looked shell-shocked as the Georgia players reeled off in celebrations with the match not even 2 minutes old. Portugal's Antonio Silva, playing his first match of the Euro, saw Cr7 bearing down on him a few yards away from the center circle. With the nerves getting the best of him, he tried to pass it to a nearby teammate but ended up giving the ball away to an advancing Jorge Micautats. Cr7, one of the most in-demand wingers in the world right now after his 2022-23 title Serie A title-winning season with Napoli, started ramping up the speed from the left, running past the flabbergasted Silva who was unable to keep up with the Georgians' pace. Micautats would see the run and threaded a pass through to him which he slotted coolly to the left of the keeper. The move for the goal was simple and straightforward, a classic counter-attack, something of a rarity in this era. It perfectly encapsulated how Georgia have played this tournament, an uncomplicated kamikaze style of attack. Against Turkey in their opening match, the approach did not work well with the Georgia side falling to a 3-1 defeat. That must have brought back memories of the time when in 2020, Georgia lost in the playoffs to North Macedonia, failing to qualify for that edition of the Euro. I remember the disappointment we experienced. It completely broke us down, as players and as a country. People lost all the joy with football and sports. We had such a big chance. We were playing at home against North Macedonia and should have won. It was difficult at that time, and I think we didn't prepare well as it was COVID time, Captain Duran Kasia had told The Guardian in the run-up to Euro 2024. After the loss to Turkey, it would have been easy for Georgia players and their captain to lose hope and alter their system and opt for a much more conservative brand of football. But they decided against it and went all out against the Czech Republic and dragged out a 1-1 draw. Cr7's goal against Portugal was the rubber stamp on the credentials of their system, with Georgia sitting deep for most of the match, absorbing everything Cristiano Ronaldo and co were throwing at them before breaking with counters. The second of Georgia's goals came at the expense of Portugal's desperation to get something from the match, leaving the defense light. Luka Lukashvili tried to take advantage of the gaps in the Portuguese defense, marauding inside the penalty box before he was bundled over by Silva. The referee gave a penalty and Micautats calmly beat the keeper from the spot. 9 minutes after the goal, Portugal subbed off a fuming Ronaldo who kicked at the turf out of frustration, while Georgia's Cr7 continued to run rings around the Seleção defense. A study in contrast, if there was ever one. Georgia next plays Spain in the round of 16, a team they haven't beaten since 2016. But after the display on Thursday night, all bets are off. Why? Because football is football. Nobody knows. Nobody thought we would even qualify. Now they don't believe again. They say Georgia has no chance. But do you know what I say? I say they didn't ask any Georgians, as Cr7 so articulately put it last week in a Tribune article. Cristiano Ronaldo endured a challenging outing as Portugal suffered a surprising defeat against Georgia in their final group game on Wednesday night, June 26. The 39-year-old, who made history as the first player to reach 50 appearances in major international tournaments, failed to score for the third consecutive game at the Euros. Despite not finding the back of the net in Portugal's victories over the Czech Republic and Turkey, Ronaldo was anticipated to break his goal-scoring drought against the Crusaders. However, the 2016 champions faced an early shock when Cr7 opened the scoring just 2 minutes in. pouncing on a precise through ball from George Mikautadze, her beIN Sports. Ronaldo's attempts to equalize included a powerful free kick in the 17th minute, which was expertly saved by goalkeeper Georgi Marmishvili. Cr7's frustrations grew when his appeals for a penalty, after appearing to have his shirt pulled, were ignored. Instead, his protests led to a yellow card, and his dissatisfaction with the officiating was evident as he continued to express his displeasure at halftime, as noted by Sportstar. In the second half, the Al Nassr forward came close to scoring with a deflected close-range effort that resulted in a corner. This would be his best opportunity before coach Roberto Martinez substituted him. Portugal's unexpected loss to Georgia underscored a disappointing night for Ronaldo, who was visibly unhappy with both his individual performance and the team's overall display. Sports Brief also reported that Cristiano Ronaldo's old comments about Ralf Rangnick had not aged well after Austria finished as group winners at the 2024 European Championship. In the now infamous interview with Piers Morgan, the Portuguese veteran questioned why Manchester United appointed a sporting director like the German to coach their first team. Cr7 gave Georgia a shock lead against a second-string Portugal team with just over a minute on the clock in Gelsenkirchen. George Mikautadze then ensured Georgia would claim the biggest football victory in the Black Sea nation's history with a 57th-minute penalty. Willy Sagnol's team qualified from Group F as one of the 4 best third-place finishers after their first-ever European Championship win, which set up a daunting clash with red-hot Spain on Sunday. Portugal had already qualified for the next round as group winners, and coach Roberto Martinez made 8 changes from the team, which swept Turkey aside to guarantee first place last weekend. Georgian Cr7, a Napoli player, was named UEFA's man of the match in the game between Georgia and Portugal. He achieved a childhood dream by not only facing his idol, Cristiano Ronaldo, but also beating him 2-0, with Vara scoring one of the goals. Making history for Georgia by getting them to the round of 16 in their first ever Euro, Kvaratskhelia participated in Cristiano Ronaldo's football academy 11 years ago. Back then, he met his idol and set a goal to one day share the pitch with him. Today, he achieved that dream and even defeated his hero. Now the Georgian star has his sights set on Spain, who they will face in the round of 16 of the Euro 2024, aiming to continue making history as the dark horse of the tournament. Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo left argues with a referee during a Group F match between Georgia and Portugal at the Euro 2024. The group stage matches of the 2024 European Championship have reached their fag end, with 2 groups, Group E and Group F, playing their final matches on Wednesday. Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal, going into its last game at the top of Group F, will look to go past the group stages when it faces bottom-placed Georgia at the Veltins Arena